Yesterday's game was nothing short of epic. As you know, I gave up hope right about this point. But then Lucy delivered us one of the biggest moments in the history of this channel. And yeah, that's what I get for giving up early. I mean, I know I shouldn't give up the faith, and you guys are right for criticizing me for doing it. But man, that was a crazy game, wasn't it? As you probably already know, Lucy's first baseball appearances in mid-1952 showed her as a naturally talented player. I like to think that this is the Lucy we have on our team. And of course, Lucy is fast on our team, just like she is in this 1961 strip. Fortunately for us, she doesn't seem to be interested in having her quiet time in Baseball Stars. And as you can see here, she can be an excellent player when she really wants to. Alright, well, good morning everybody, and welcome to Baseball Stars for breakfast. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. As you know, this is not me playing the game. This is also not from our season. This is just the Ninja Blackshox playing against the SNK Crushers. I don't know why they make that game the default, because, or the, whatever, the attract mode, whatever you want to call it, because that's not really a fair matchup, right? As we saw yesterday, the Ninja Blackshox are actually a pretty good team. Today we are up against one of the best teams, actually the best team in the game, and this means it's going to be pretty tricky. Now I've spent a little bit of time, I haven't gone into the game to do this, but I have spent a little bit of time sort of like refiguring out the lineup, and so we're going to try something a little bit new today. You can hear in the background the heater coming on. The reason why the heater's coming on is because it is once again really cold outside, so you know, go figure. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Frida over at number 2. Pigpen we're going to have hit third, and we're going to have him play third base. Then we'll have Shermy in front of Linus. I don't know that it really matters one way or another. And then Violet will be 6th. Sally will remain in the lineup at 7th, and then we're going to put Schroeder in for Franklin, which might be a pretty controversial move. I don't know if it's the right time right now to do this or not. But this is sort of what we're going to do. We're going to try to get Schroeder in as the catcher. He's got a really good rating. So we need to change the fielders around a little bit. So we want Schroeder to be the catcher. Lucy will be at first base. I'm sorry, she'll be at right field. There we go. Not at first base. Lucy will be at right field. Frida in center. We'll have Pigpen at third. Right, remember, we upgraded his defense last time. Shermy will be at first base, which is kind of where he belongs. Linus will be over at second base, which is again where he belongs. We'll have Violet in left. Sally at short, because we need to get Snoopy beefed up. We need to get Snoopy beefed up. And then Schroeder the catcher. So we almost have this team set up right now like the way that it's going to be like going forward, but not entirely. So we have a little bit more to do. And now heaven help us as we play against the American Dreams, which is of course the best team in the game. We have not seen pitching like this at all so far. And so if you thought it was rough before, just wait. A little bit of good luck that it's Cy Young out there, not Sandy Koufax, but I'm not so sure that that's really going to help us all that much. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. This is the team that you know, you want to try to work your way up to being able to beat. This is definitely the best team in the game. Of course, if this goes, that would be really nice, but and it will. Look at that, 1-0. How about that? So we have some good luck with Frida, who's playing center field and hitting number 2, and I guess that's the reason why we have her up there. And here comes Pigpen. Pigpen's having a great season so far. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. So yeah, how about that game yesterday? It was absolutely incredible. One of the most incredible games we've had anywhere on this channel. And it's not a comeback that I was expecting us to see, but you know, that happens sometimes. You have some good luck, and we definitely did have some good luck. Now, in terms of channel news, of course, this morning, if you haven't seen it yet, you can go check out the video about baseball cards in 1983 and what I consider to be the junk reprint era of junk wax. The thing is that there were just a lot of reprints in 1983. like a lot of reprints, and there was also a lot of sets that were you know, like minor league sets and stuff, basically sets that nobody really cares all that much about. And so I decided to make the video focused a lot on good old TCMA, which is a company that a lot of people don't really remember all that much. TCMA was not really even that famous, I would say, honestly. If you go back to the 1980s, you read what, this is Joe DiMaggio, right? A lot of guys named Joe. TCMA was not really all that famous. If you go back, say, like to the late 80s or early 90s, when people theoretically would have been interested in those minor league cards. And really, the reason why is because you couldn't go to the store and buy a pack of TCMA. You had to order it mail order. And for years, there was this sort of like general apprehension about card sets that had to be ordered mail order. As I believe I mentioned in the video, this is also the reason why Star basketball cards at the beginning were not really all that welcome. In fact, this is the reason why the Michael, geez, do you see the curve on that ball is absolutely crazy. Anyway, the reason why the Michael Jordan Fleer card from '86 has wound up being so famous is because the 1984 Star rookies, even though there are far fewer of those, and it's not even close, the Star rookies could only be obtained if you went and ordered it through mail order, right? So like you couldn't go to the store and like, you know, buy a pack of Star whatever 84 or something and like get a Michael Jordan because it didn't exist that way. Basically, you bought the pack from the company and you got all the cards that the company sent you, and that was it. Okay, so who's Lefty supposed to be? I think this is the first non-pitcher that we've seen with a sort of a name like that, where I'm like, I'm not sure who this is supposed to be. Well, anyway, whoever it was, we struck him out. This Willie, now is this Willie Mays or Willie McCovey? You guys can decide. See, I knew I had a third baseman there somewhere, right? Alright, here's Schroeder. He's not quite a good enough hitter to be doing this yet, but he is a good catcher, a good defensive player, which is the reason why we want to put him in. Plus, you know, we need to get him in because, you know, otherwise the guy who has the Schroeder YouTube account is going to go after me. I don't know whatever happened to that guy. He posted once, and then I said, oh yeah, that's right, I need to get you on my team, and then he never posted again. So, I don't know, it's one of those YouTube things, huh? Alright, well, we don't worry so much about Charlie Brown striking out. As long as he doesn't hit into double play, that's the thing that we care about. Anyway, the next video on this channel will be about Quattro Sports Baseball Pros. I think I've mentioned this before. I spent some time, I watched the AVGN's video on the Aladdin Deck Enhancer, which, as I mentioned before, is not really a great video. It's modern AVGN, which has its moments, and which is not the, you know, not the most entertaining thing in the world to watch. I have not yet watched the Internet Historians video. I will probably check that one out as well, although the parts that were cited in the AVGN video make me believe that the Internet Historians video might not itself be necessarily the most accurate in the world. And who is Jay, by the way? Which player is that supposed to be? So Jax, I think, is supposed to be Jackie Robinson, right? And here comes Cy Young. Alright. Thankfully, the game let me control the pitcher this time instead of having him run to third or something like that. Alright, so here we go, another close one. Anyway, the reason why I bring that up is because there's going to be a lot to say for Quattro Sports Baseball Pros. The big problem with the AVGN review of it is that he plays the game for like maybe a minute. He doesn't really talk about it. You know, and I mean, part of the issue, right, is that over at Cinemassacre, these guys are not really sports fans, right? So if they do a sports game, they don't know what to say, right? If you're interested in the sport, if you know like how the sport is played and stuff like that, then I think you have a much better chance of saying something actually meaningful and useful in a video. So that's the approach that I have. And, you know, the way that YouTube works and all that stuff, there's always room for another opinion, somebody else saying something. Although the key is you have to make it a little bit different. So if you're making your own YouTube channel and you're thinking, you know, what can I do to get into the algorithm? One of the things that works really well is you want to say something that nobody else is saying, or come at it with a different perspective or something like that. And the reason why YouTube doesn't talk about this very much, but when YouTube determines whether it's going to push a video or not, it has a whole bunch of AI run checks that will check up on your video, see what you're saying, see if you're like duplicating something else, etc., etc. It's a tie ball game, folks. A little bit far away from catching that one, Lucy, but she went for it. She climbed that wall. She can climb with the best of them. I wish she could climb up into, like, you know, the crowd and then run after the ball up the aisle. That'd be fun to watch. Yeah, there's a book that I read from several years back talking about YouTube strategy, where the author mentioned, this is long before AI became like a real major thing, but the author mentioned there that YouTube's algorithm does, even at that time, you know, it would read sort of like what your transcript was, and it would, you know, make decisions about your video based upon what it was sensing, what it was reading. And as much as it sucks to have, you know, like an automated system doing this, it kind of has to happen. And the reason why I say it has to happen is because, this one has a chance. Just not quite there, man. There's a little bit better at fielding than we are. The reason why I say you have to have an automated system is because it's actually impossible for human beings to watch all of the videos that are uploaded on this platform. Especially when you have, you know, junky videos like this one where it's just mostly gameplay and I don't have a script and I'm kind of going off the cuff and stuff like that, right? This is mostly junky because of the way I'm swinging. I don't know, let's leave him in a little bit. I'm a little bit worried. I don't know what he's going to look like in DS6. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, you know, these sort of like, I'm just going to go slop it together, and that was a strike. I'm gonna go slop it together and just put it out really quickly type video. Like, you can make it quickly, right? But the algorithm, the way it's set up, is not really gonna favor your video all that much. Which is one of the reasons why when you look at this series, you're not gonna see these videos necessarily get past like 1,000 views or whatever. In fact, 1,000 views would be really nice for any one of these, right? But, you know, I don't know, it sort of depends. This series is kind of unique in that it's developed actually a pretty strong following as time has gone on. Man, is he really hitting like, like 500 something or whatever that was? Crazy. Yeah, we needed to take Charlie Brown out. So yeah, this is what happens when you play against the American Dreams. Until you get a team that's like really, you know, strong enough to actually compete. Spike's back up to 9.99. Did he give up a lot of runs in yesterday's game? I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this sort of thing is pretty common for this game. I'm not sure how that was a strike, but we'll take it. You're gonna leave Cy Young in there, huh? Alright, that might actually work well for us. Man, that one just didn't have good enough eyes. And see, that's where those balls were hit yesterday that it kept getting past Pigpen, remember that? We don't have a chance. We still have to work on improving the running. However, this time around, so we're probably not going to win this game. We will play against the Ghastly Monsters and beat them. And that's probably going to be the last time that we do one of these sort of exhibition games for a second game instead of doing like a second league game or whatever. What I'm probably going to do, at least for a little while, is go back down to just one episode per day. Largely for my own sanity and to try to, you know, make it so that things are meaningful and stuff like that, right? I mean, I could do more. I could continue to, you know, like make you know, 2 episodes, like or 2 games in an episode and stuff like that. But I think we want to sort of shy away from that for at least a little while. Yeah, there we go. All right. I'll go back down to 1, and that's also mostly to preserve my own sanity so that I don't go crazy trying to make, you know, tons and tons of these videos every day and all this stuff. So anyway, we'll see. It does take time. It takes, because I do this in real time, as you know. It also takes time to do scripted videos, by the way. So the baseball card video, and we're in the lead now. Baseball card video took me a little while. It took more time to write though than it took to put together. It's, believe it or not, that type of video is actually relatively easy to put together as long as I have like the pictures and I kind of know what I want to do and all that stuff. The videos that are harder to put together, that take more time, are videos that include a lot of video game clips. Right, because you have to go through and you have to figure out, okay, you know, which clip am I using for this, which am I using for that, and all this other stuff. Alright, that does it. Alright, the pressure's still on. Yeah, see, we still need... What we did is we took a problem at first base and we put him over to third base after we improved his defense, and so now we have a problem at first base again. Shermy has defense of 3, and so there are 2 players that we really need to improve after whatever victory we're able to get today. One of them is we do need to improve Shermy's defense, and the other one is we absolutely need to get Snoopy going so we can eventually have him... Boy, that was the weakest throw from third base. Who's out there? Pigpen, man. You gotta make a better throw than that. I was actually trying to throw to second, but yeah, we need to improve Snoopy so we can get him to play short, and we do need to improve Shermy's defense over at first. If we could do those 2 things, I'm not sure if we have enough money to do those 2 things, but if we could do those 2 things, that would help us out a lot. Anyway. They put Dizzy Dean in at some point in time. I must have missed that. I must have been talking about baseball cards or something like that. That's the story of my life, right? I missed some important thing, right, because I was talking about baseball cards. Alright, here we go. Franklin's a pretty formidable pinch hitter, and it feels kind of bad to take him out, but we want to be as accurate as possible with our lineups. Oh man, this is double play. So we still have a ways to go. We still have to work a little bit to get these teams improved. As I've been hinting at before, though, we will eventually have a series in this channel where we play Baseball Star, which is the Japanese version of Baseball Stars. And when we do it again, we'll have a different approach. So instead of jumping straight into this season, for example, we'll probably do a bunch of sort of 7-game series against different teams. I mean, 7 games probably works well. I don't know, we could always do like a 10-game series or something like that, you know, depending upon how much patience people have. Alright, I think we have them set up. As you know, I mean, one of the tricks with doing stuff on YouTube like this is trying to figure out what you need to do to get people to watch. Sometimes giving up a game-tying home run is exactly what you needed. I'm still not sure, though, who Jay is supposed to be. That's the one player where I'm like, I have no idea which player this is. Jackie, by the way, is really fast. I think we looked at that yesterday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is fair. Put Lou Gehrig as a pinch hitter. There you go. That's real fair. Alright, here we go. Top of the 8th. It is a fine day. Actually, it's pretty cold outside, which is why the heater keeps coming on. Oh, go, 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 baby, go! Ho, ho, ho! Number 2 today for Rita. All right, 5-4. Let's get some more runs, huh? think it's going to drop. Oh, and it does. Here comes Shermie. We really do have a murderer's row set up here, and this team's only going to get better. We're going to get to the point where some of these players are 15-15. Well, that wasn't so good. Nope, doesn't work so well. Alright, tense moment of the game. But you see, like, we have, 4 players in a row or so who are all capable of hitting the ball out of the park. Ah, that's not gonna do it though. Miss, miss, miss. And we give up the game-tying home run right away. Alright. The question though is, do we leave rerun in or do we put Marcy out right away? I think I want to give him a little bit more time. But he might give up a game-winning home run right here. So you remember when we were up against Paul of the SNK Crushers, right? The idea was, oh, just hit him, We can't just hit the Babe. If we just hit the Babe, what happens is they get more runners on base, and then their other big power hitters come up and really punish us for it. So I probably should have used the second baseman there to catch that. It doesn't matter. Good luck. Alright, I think now it's time to put in the relief pitcher. Yeah, man, I mean, they're just gonna crank the ball off of our inadequate relief pitching. That's for sure. Anyway, though, lots of good stuff coming up. We'll have the 2 games today. I'm still hoping that I can get ahead enough so that we do another game as well, instead of just doing one a day. I've been way behind lately, but you never know. Maybe we will get a little bit ahead and we can have a little bit more fun and play some other stuff. That's the other thing I've noticed on YouTube, which is that if I start playing a bunch of games that like nobody plays, things end up going pretty well. We could put Joe Slobodnik in, huh? The problem with putting Marcy in is that, I mean, if we... Oh, that was really bad. If we pinch hit for her, then, like, who do we put into pitch? So... Of course, it's not going to matter much in a second. You'll notice, though, that they didn't try to steal against Schroeder because of his good defense, so we'll sort of keep that in mind. Alright, it's the last chance, and who are we going to put in? They're all awful. We'll put 5 in. This is not going to go well. Now, the American Dreams are not like this, absolutely incredible team that's unbeatable. As we continue to improve our team, we will get to the point where we're better than them. It's going to take a little while for that to happen, though. Well, look at that. We got the base hit. So we could use one of those Lucy moments here again. That would be crazy. I don't think it's going to happen. Nope. And so we wind up with a loss. It was a come-from-behind game, though. Really exciting. 7-5, we lose. And a lot of home runs. And as you can see, we were absolutely packed because we have great reputation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play these other automatic games. No surprise that the Japan Robins won that game. And we'll do this one automatically as well. And yeah, the American Dreams win 10-0 in like 3 innings. So let's look at the standings here if people want to see it. They are 5-0. We are second place at 3-2, tied with the Ninja Black Sox and the Japan Robins. So 3 teams tied at 3-2, and then World Powers are really bad. And BW, what does that stand for again? The Brave Warriors are also not a particularly good team. Franklin, who is now on the bench, has a 636 average, so maybe we shouldn't have him on the bench. And we also have Shermy with hitting 520. I mean, it's early, so, you know, who knows. Franklin has 3 home runs and is second in the total number of home runs. So we might want to figure out a way to get him back into the lineup. Patty has an ERA of absolutely nothing, which is good, but she doesn't have very many victories. Sandy Koufax has 4 victories, so it's going to take a while for us to get to the point where we can really challenge him. So it's going to be an interesting pennant race, that's for sure. And as always, I'll tell you that, you know, if you enjoy what you're seeing on this channel, please consider making a donation or becoming a YouTube channel member or joining over on Patreon, doing something like that to support this and to keep it going. Because we can use all the help that we can get. I say we, it's just me, which gives you an idea of how much help I could use. And we'll go up against the Ghostly Monsters here. This probably should be a relatively quick game. Well, it's not going to be quick in our favor if I keep swinging at pitches like that. So what you have to remember about this team is it has incredible defense. So you're not going to get a lot of like poor, sloppy defensive play here. You know, like they're able to cut, you know, a ball like that off from the gap and stuff like that. So it is. Oh, that one got through. And they just concede the run, so that's fine. But see, this is where this lineup really helps because we have more power coming up right afterwards. And then more power coming up after him. I wonder though, as I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if we probably should have had Franklin just play short, but I don't know about his defensive ability. That's the thing. Sally has defense of like 12, and so it's important to make sure you have a shortstop that can, you know, play shortstop. Alright, there we go, gunning it on over there, 2 away. So yeah, unfortunately we won't have that big 100,000 plus payday for beating the American Dreams quite yet, but remember, with this 125 game season, we play them another 24 times. At some point in time, we'll get to the point where it's relatively easy for us to beat them, and that's when we'll get big money. Of course, what's going to happen eventually here is the same thing that happens in all games where you have money, where you start to like master the system and then you end up with way too much money, and you're like, what do I do with all this? So that'll come eventually. It's going to take a little while though for us to get to that point. You know, Schroeder is not an awful hitter, 256 with 7 home runs, so it's not like he's completely incapable of hitting the ball. But we could use some offensive improvements there, at least eventually. Alright, well, still 1-0. Almost got him. we get that taken care of. 2 away. He's got 1 more to go here. So, looking in the long-term perspective of this channel, the next baseball card video is going to be a fun one when that finally comes out. I'm not sure how that got part of the plate, but whatever. Next one, we're going to do 1984, of course, and I'm probably going to actually focus a little bit more on Donruss, and yeah, that's when Donruss started to deliberately short print its base set. But I say it's going to be fun because we'll also get a chance to look at 1984 Fleer, which is one of the most interesting, creative, and in some cases controversial sets of the 1980s. So there's a lot of like good stuff coming up soon that will definitely be different. I'll put it that way. All right, we have a chance here. Oh, we don't have a chance hitting that one. There we go. No need to tag up. We know where that one's going. Yeah, 84 will be pretty good. I don't know what you guys think about this, those of you who collect cards. I'm not a huge fan of 84 Topps. I don't think I've ever had very many 84 Topps cards anyway. I've always liked 1983 Topps better. I think that's one of the better designs of all time. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to go back and look at it. I really do like 84 Donruss. 84 and 85 Donruss are really nice looking sets. 86 Donruss is also not bad, although they decided for some dumb reason to, you know, put so much emphasis on the borders and all that stuff. And I don't know, maybe somebody here knows exactly why. I don't fully understand why it is that card companies in the 1980s loved having these like colorful borders and stuff that were thick, you know. I don't quite get it. It doesn't look all that wonderful to me. But for one reason or another, the companies thought that you had to have a good border. Like, I understand stuff like making sure that the player's name is on the front of the card. I understand, you know, wanting to have your logo on the front and stuff like that. That makes sense to me. But, like, having one of those borders, there's the drop. Having one of those thick borders, I just don't get it. I don't know what the appeal was to that. As I said in today's video, 1976 SSPC is actually an example of what I think more baseball card sets should look like, right? You have basically a really nice looking photo on the front and not a lot of extra stuff, you know. You think that this would be pretty easy to figure out, but nobody wants to do it that way. So it is. I guess maybe there were worries that people won't know what this card is or where it comes from or whatever, but wow, that went behind her. Unusual things happening in this game. That really was ghastly. Yeah, it's amazing to me, right? You know, 1953 Bowman Color has been known, I mean, since it came out, as one of the nicest looking sets in the history of baseball card creation. And yet nobody's ever tried to do it again, or only a few people have ever tried to, you know, mess around with that sort of idea. You know, it's like, oh, this works really well, so we're not going to do it. You know, I mean, even today with the base sets, right? I saw, what was it? It was some football card or something like that over on Reddit. Somebody was talking about, you know, and like it was what? It was like a blue parallel instead of a red one or something like that. And people were like, oh, this is short printed. This is worth a lot of money or something. But you look at the card and it just looks like garbage. I mean, I swung at that one and that was called a ball. How about that? Good luck today. Oh man, probably should not have done that. I definitely shouldn't have done that. I just wanted to test that a couple times just to make sure he really was safe. Anyway, yeah, sport card design over the years has, believe it or not, it's actually become more lazy. Oh, jeez. Go foul. There we go. Well, we just barely got out of that half inning. Good times. Yeah, sports card design has become progressively more lazy and sort of more, I don't know, like by the book as the years have gone on. And so, you know, if you're looking at like recent base sets, for example, it's going to be really hard for you to tell base sets from like the last 10 years apart from each other because they all look the same. There are certain things that the company's learned, especially from the early 90s that work, you know, so they'll always have like, you know, I don't know, like white borders, you know, they use the higher quality card stock and all that other stuff, right? But, I don't know, there's a lot of sort of misunderstanding, I think, that goes on among people who work for these companies, especially whoever works in design. Right. I mean, I don't, because personally, I don't think that a lot of people really like it when the base set looks the same every single year. Right. It would be nice to have at least some sort of variation. And I've always thought really that, you know, these reprint type sets, the heritage sets and stuff, that really should be your base set instead of messing around with like, okay, we're going to have, you know, this base set and then we're going to have like a bajillion, you know, parallels and all this other stuff. I mean, and then all these other sets as well. Just put it all together, right? And make it so that the nicest looking cards end up being the base set. And then, you know, for the parallels, you can have all the real stupid stuff that people do where it's like, you know, oh, we got like this one of one parallel or whatever, you know. Right? You know, keep that stuff in for the people who like it. I don't, you know, but whatever. But, you know, work on your base set and make it so that it looks good so it's fun to collect, right? Otherwise, if you're going out and you're spending like, you know, $100 or whatever it costs for like a box of these, is probably a lot more than that. All right, and you're getting a whole bunch of base set cards. You want to have base set cards that actually look interesting and good and have interesting photos, you know, and have an interesting design. You don't want to have a whole bunch of base set cards that, you know, look like absolute slop. But, you know, as you know, with these days, with the rise of AI and, you know, all of this stuff, the amount of slop that we see in society is only going to increase. Because it's easier and it's cheaper, right? So, anyway, I can go on and on about, you know, the theories and stuff that I have behind all of this. Speaking of slop, it'd be nice if we could get something more than some of these sloppy pop-ups. This is pretty bad. And Charlie Brown is not, he's not pitching well enough to stay in. I mean, he's too tired. But when it comes to YouTube content creation and stuff like that, I'll tell you that there is an advantage for you today if you're an actual human being, and you can say things that are actually interesting to other human beings, and especially if you're willing to expose yourself as an imperfect person on camera. And it's because we live in this age of like AI slop where everything is done according to, you know, whatever perfect standard or something like that, right? At some point in time, people really want to see something that's authentic in contrast to the AI stuff. So anyway, at least that's the theory that I work by. And the nice thing about doing stuff like that, videos like this and so on, is that, you know, I can like let my guard down and say, okay, let's just go and have some fun. And we can make fun of things in this game and do whatever we need to do. Drop. Oh yeah. Right, because like I've said before, ChatGPT or whatever, you know, what is it called? The 11 Labs and stuff like that. It's not going to, come on, Franklin. It's not going to play baseball stars for you, right? See, Medusa has totally mesmerized me with those snakes in her head. We need to get Juana back out there, right? Alright, here we go. Runners on second and third. Here comes Lucy, the big slugger. That's not much of a slug. Alright, here comes Frida. We're gonna do it this time. Yeah, we've had a lot of these sort of garbage pop-ups. It's been a day of popping the ball up. This is a team that we beat 9-0 last time we played them. You'd think we'd be a little bit better this time, and we have not been better. Of course, some of this is user error, right? Which is why I say, you know, it's endearing to people if you play poorly. That's the theory I'm going by, and I'm sticking with it. Good. They'll take her out, put Jekyll. And remember Jekyll? We roasted the ball off of him last time. Well, that's not going to do it. Alright, here we go. Probably shouldn't have skipped over Spike. It's alright. Oh, man, that's close. Lucy's got a cannon. Yeah, not quite. We still need to work on the infield fielding, the defensive ratings and stuff like that. We'll get to the point, probably in like a couple weeks or so, where that starts to really work well for us. Not quite there yet. There we go. We've only given up 5 hits, but then again, we only have 7 ourselves, so it's been kind of a quiet game here. That one was a total screamer all the way to the wall. That didn't stop for anything. Yeah, there's a ton of other baseball games we have not played yet on this channel, right? Like, for example, I've talked about Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball, but we haven't sat down to play that yet. I've shown clips before, like Neo Geo Baseball Stars 2, which is almost exactly the same game. But we haven't played that one yet either. So we got a couple of things that we can pull out here coming up in the near future if we can get a little bit of time and get a little bit of room to put stuff out. Oh man, they're just gonna pump that ball inside, aren't they? Well, that does it. So still not much by way of base hits for us. Alright, here comes Lurch. Our favorite name. Pigpen, you went the wrong way. I thought I had that lined up and, so it is. I think the grass got in my eyes. Alright. Now we just need to get one more out here, and then we can go to the top of the 9th and score 7 runs, right? There we go. Yeah, that's a pretty bad looking bench. We've got a ways to go. But I'm not putting my emphasis and my focus on that quite yet. Instead, I really want to get sort of Snoopy up to the point where he's going to end up being the starting shortstop. And we'll see where we go from there. Oh, there we go. There it goes again. It's been all about Frida today. So Frida's probably the one we're going to do our focus on tomorrow when I make the introduction and all that stuff. Hardest part of making the introduction, by the way, is thinking about something to say. But we're going to have a lot to say, that's for sure. Oh, yeah, that's gone. I wish it would tell me how many feet that was hit. That's got to be like 450 feet away. He crushed that one. He smoked it. Not even close. Norman's getting frustrated. Alright, we have him where we want him. Well, maybe not. Alright, here we go. Put our closer in, Marcy. Not quite to that closer status yet. So my understanding is that in the original comic strip, Marcy is actually not a particularly good baseball player. But, you know, we take a couple of creative licenses and liberties here, so it'll be alright. Oh, man. But she does have the ability to do this. Well, it didn't work that time. We'll work with her on her draw pitch and get it to the point where it needs to be, where it should be. And here we go. Friday the 13th. There we go. Pigpen was in the right place that time. That does that. And so, of course, we win the second game. Like I said, this is probably the last time we're going to play these exhibition games for a second game. At least for a little while, we'll go back to one game per episode. You know, we might bring it back a little bit later on if we start rolling and all this stuff and we need to get stuff played quickly. 77,000 is all. There was a time where 77,000 would feel like a lot, but not anymore. I think they call them the, whatever it is, the ghastly or ghostly monsters. They have ghost in their name because there's nobody showing up in the crowd, right? It's all nothing but ghosts. So Shermie's at 40,000, Snoopy's at 30. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to power up Snoopy. Oh yes, and we got a very good one. That's what we want to see. And we'll just do it like this. Probably enough to allow us to actually play him in the field. And all we get from Shermie is 2, that's it. And so we can't upgrade him anymore. And so now his defense at least is up to 5, which isn't the worst thing in the world. We still have like 20,000 something or other, so we can... I like the idea of keeping Schlabotnik at like as low as we possibly can. Yeah, see, we can't upgrade any of the pitchers because they're all at 25,000. We could upgrade 5 if we wanted to. We could upgrade Woodstock. I kind of would upgrade Woodstock. Somebody was saying we should turn him into a running specialist, so I think we'll do that. And then we have just a little bit left, and so I think we can do this here. And I mean, I don't know, 5 doesn't really have much of a personality, so we'll just do that. There you go. That's kind of like a lack of personality upgrade, I think. But anyway, there you have it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the new lineup and stuff like that. Let me know what you think we should do with Franklin, if we should put him back in the lineup or not. You know, how exactly we're going to set that up. And I'll probably do whatever you tell me to do. So there you have it. That's Baseball Stars for breakfast for today. And hopefully I'll get this out a little bit earlier today. We'll see how long the rendering takes. I will talk with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.